Please let her go.
She was very kind to you.
Well, that's very kind of you. Say, Countess. Zaleska? Zelenka. Oh, apologies, but I'm married, so we can't do anything like that. You don't care. Well, judging by your appearance on Zoom, you can't be more than 19 or 20, and I am just too old for you. You're 473 years old, from Transylvania. You're obviously I am obviously way too young for you. No, I will not put that thing away. I think we're going to have to end this Zoom call now. Okay, she's gone. Yeah, you were right. I should listen to you more often. Wow. Hey gang, it's me, your Uncle Todd here. And tonight, we have a movie with a bona fide sex symbol. Anita Ekberg. Probably known to most film fans for her role in Federico Fellini's La Dolce Vita. But for exploitation fans, she's best known for Killer Nun. The film we're doing tonight is Fangs of the Living Dead from 1969. In it, Ms. Ekberg plays a model. What else? And she's doing fairly well and is engaged to her photographer when she gets a message. Her father's died. Now, she doesn't know much about her father. Her mother took her away and they divorced when she was very young. But she's inherited a castle. So she's off to the Carpathians, where she gets the usual greeting at the local tavern.
Are you staying long?
No, just about a week.
Don't expect all the comforts you find in Rome. Rugart, what are you doing? Put the lady's suitcase in the front room.
Oh, don't bother. I'm not staying here.
Where do you plan to stay then?
At the castle. I'm one of the family.
Well, that's a nice cheery greeting. Anyways, the manservant shows up and takes her to the castle where she meets her uncle. He only comes out during the nighttime, sleeps during the day. He's kind of cold to the touch. But Sylvia's not really that suspicious, although she does notice an odd painting.
One could almost say that.
It's your grandmother, Malenka, and you're the image of her, Sylvia. Same beauty born of mystery.
Then, later that night, after dinner and Sylvia's gone to bed, she's actually visited by Malenka.
I am Glinka. A long time ago, the Count was in love with me.
Do you live here with my uncle?
Do you really think he's your uncle? A man who is over 100 years old.
100? Now, really? You choose a time like 5 in the morning to come to my room to tell me such nonsense?
My mistake. Linka. Right. Anyway, that's not the real reason she came to the room, as you'll see.
Much. Sleep now, sleep. Sleep.
I told you not to do that!
Okay. This could go either way. Maybe she was being seductive? That is one interpretation, but as her uncle takes Linka away to be punished, Sylvia follows and finds out Linka has fangs. Well, this leads her uncle the next day to tell her the story of her grandfather and grandmother with some pretty cool flashbacks.
Malenka was a brilliant biochemist, but she refused to accept the limitations of the last century's scientific investigations, and so she studied ancient Arabic philosophers and alchemists. She compiled anthologies of black magic and sorcery. She conducted strange experiments in order to prove the existence of the supernatural.
And as with all stories of this kind, a torch-wielding mob did not take kindly to this and meted out their own justice. Burned at the stake. Of course, her uncle and Linka are actually her grandparents. And they are vampires thanks to alchemy, basically. And so they inform her that this is her heritage and that she will become a vampire whether she really wants to or not. It's just going to happen. So she writes a letter to her fiancé, breaking off their engagement.
Piero, I am living a nightmare, or a reality so distorted that I no longer know the difference. Whatever the truth is, I must tell you, dear Piero, that our engagement is definitely broken.
Well, that's not good enough for Pierre. So, he and his best bud Max, they head down there and are refused entrance at the castle. So, going back to the tavern / hostel hotel, you know, that thing. They find that one of the barmaids is suffering from an odd illness.
It's nothing to worry about. A bit of anemia.
I can't understand it. You know I've always been healthy.
With a little rest, some vitamins and iron, you should be up and about very soon.
Are you really sure?
Just don't worry about it.
Oh, so confident in his diagnosis. That night, the Count visits Berta. Later that evening, she's found dead. And the local doctor shows some interesting marks on the girl's body.
What do you see on the girl's throat?
It looks like 2 pinpricks with a slight inflammation.
What would you say if those 2 pinpricks were the cause of her death?
An animal bite?
No. Something 1,000 times worse.
As that's going on, the Count tries to initiate Sylvia into the clan, as it were. She refuses, and through a complicated bit of maneuvering, manages to escape and ends up back at the tavern, where she's reunited with Pierre. Having heard her story and the fact that she saw Berta at the castle, the Doctor, Pierre, and Max go and stake out Berta's grave. You know, as you do. Of course, try to grab her and stake her, and she wallops the heck out of all three of them before getting away. While they're occupied with that, the manservant of the Count has gone to the tavern and grabbed Sylvia and taken her back to the castle, which now prompts our three heroes to go to the castle itself, where, while Max and the Doctor are keeping Malenka occupied, basically, he sneaks down into the dungeon and tries to rescue Sylvia.
Of your failure, the only intelligent thing you can do is to leave.
Then I'll take Sylvia with me.
Against her wishes.
Tell her this is all a pack of lies. If you don't...
Not even you can kill a corpse.
This stupid farce has gone on long enough.
I agree. No!
So, he's quite the hero. Well, he gets chained up. And it is here that the Count reveals he's not really a vampire. This has all been a big ruse to get Sylvia to tell everybody that she's going to become a vampire and her family are all vampires so that he can get her put into asylum and steal her inheritance. And then Malenka, who discovers Berta is going to be replacing her with the Count in his affections, gets into a big fight with Berta. They end up killing each other. And while this is going on, Sylvia frees Pierre, and he finally gets to do something.
No!
At this point, the Count withers away to nothing. He actually was a vampire. What? Okay. And then Pierre and Sylvia decide to return to Rome, and Max is approached by Berta's sister, who wants to go to Rome with them, and we get this joke ending.
Easily. I would like to go to Rome with you. Do you think I would be a success there?
Ha 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 ha! Max is now a vampire, running around in daylight. It's a European horror flick. Logic doesn't enter into it. It's all about atmosphere. It's actually not a bad little flick. Anita Ekberg, she's always a delight to watch on screen, and she's pretty good here. She really conveys the confusion and depression that a character like this would go through. There's a lot of good vampire action throughout, and I rather like some of Max's comedy antics, most of which are him being allergic to garlic and sneezing whenever garlic's around. So, you know, a bit of a trouble when you're trying to trap a vampire and he keeps sneezing every time. Yeah, it's not a great film. It's just a fun little film. And there's nothing wrong with that. I really like it. That's all I really have to say about this one. Please hit like, share, and subscribe, and stay after the credits for my favorite scene.